Hi guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about how to set fitness goals, because that's one of the basic needs that anyone has to do when they start out an exercise program. Because without goals, you don't know where you're starting, you don't know where you're coming from, and therefore you never know if you're progressing or not. So let's get started. So I have a 4-step method when it comes to setting goals. The first criteria for when you're setting goals is you need to be very specific with your goal. So what is a good method to set a very specific goal is using the SMART method. And the SMART method stands for, the SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time sensitive. So let's go and break that down and see what they exactly mean. So specific, it means that when you set a goal, let's just say you want to lose weight. You don't want to just be arbitrary saying, I want to lose weight. You want to say how much weight. So let's say an example would be, I want to lose 10 pounds, or I want to lose 4% body fat. You know, that's a very specific goal, and you can get your mind around exactly where you need to be at. The next thing is attainable. Your goal needs to be something that's realistic. You can't set a goal and say, I'm going to lose 50 pounds over the next 2 months. It's just something that's not doable. So you want to be very specific, and you also want to pick something that's that you can achieve, you know, based on your abilities. The next thing is measurable. You need to be able to measure your goals, because that is the kind of feedback that helps you keep going. If you don't have a way of measuring how you are progressing in your fitness goal, you're going to have a hard time keeping up with and motivating yourself. So there's a component of motivation there as well, but it also tells you how much longer, how much further you have to go to reach your goal. The next thing is relevant. So you need to be able to have some kind of exercises, or you need to be doing something that's relevant towards the goal itself, not some arbitrary set of exercises. So the exercises you pick, for instance, for fat loss, has to be specific to fat loss. In a different video, we'll talk about what those exercises have to be. Or for instance, you pick a diet. The diet has to be relevant to fat loss. You don't want to be incorporating a muscle building diet into a fat loss program. You know what I mean? It all actually needs to be relevant. And the next thing, and the last thing is, it needs to be time sensitive. You need to have a deadline. You need to think of your goal as a project. And there's a deadline, and you want to be able to achieve this in a set period of time, so that you don't say to yourself, well, I have my rest of my life to complete this. You're never going to do this. You need to be specific, you need to set a deadline, and you need to tell yourself, I'm going to achieve this by that point, so that you can push yourself. So it builds on that sort of motivation factor that everyone needs in order to reach any goal. So the next thing is that you need to have what's called motivating factors into your goal, right? You set your goal, you know exactly what you're trying to achieve, but now you need these motivating factors. And these motivating factors come from two. They're called sticks and carrots. Carrots are things that are motivating you to actually accomplish your goal. So for instance, a carrot could be, let's say for fat loss, you're trying to look good for your weight. And your wedding is coming up in 6 months, and if you look good, you can look great in pictures, you're just going to achieve a lot. A stick thing can be something like you're going to be ridiculed when you go to your next dance performance or something. You're not going to have the physical ability to complete the triathlon you're trying to achieve in the summer. Something negative that's going to impact you. And from both sides, you can look at the things that essentially play into that's going to motivate you in your goal. And the last thing that you do is the fourth item on this, on the 4 items that I really require you to accomplish when you're trying to reach any goal, is that you need to make a collage. And imagery is a very important aspect of reaching any fitness goal. And so looking at pictures, looking at things that are going to motivate you through imagery is very important to incorporate. So, for instance, for instance, Google and Google images. It doesn't necessarily have to be images of people. It can be images of how you're going to feel. You want to incorporate emotion into it, so that when you ever feel discouraged throughout your process, because you will, everyone goes through that, you can pick up these images and you look back, and it will be an inspiration to get you back on your feet and get you back to the gym and doing your workout. Thank you very much. See you next video.